Okay, hello everyone. So I'm with Mark again. We're actually taking the new, gosh, I can never get the versions right, 2020 4812.15 software. So this is beta 8 for FSD, and the improvements that I found have been just incredible. Like I'm intervening so much less. So this is actually my very first drive I'm taking through town. Whoa, good test.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that on any FSD videos. So we didn't intervene at all. That was actually, they were actually in the oncoming lane. FSD handled that perfectly.
And the braking was actually smooth.
Wow. Okay, we're off to a good start. So this is what I'm talking about. See, it's still doing centering. It's not as weaving like drunk driving level, but it's still doing some pretty significant centering that I'm not too happy with.
Well, I wonder if it's because it's such a tight street that it's like you always should just stay to your right.
So here it's never performed well. So we actually have a GoPro on the roof in wide angle mode. So it pulled out and I'm tapping the accelerator because the car, you felt it slow down, right? Yeah. You felt it slow down.
I mean, it wasn't drastic, but it was slowing down.
It slowed down, and it still doesn't give me confidence as someone in the car that it's seeing well, because we couldn't even see. So hopefully with that roof mounted GoPro, we'll be able to see that. They'll be able to see what I'm talking about, where it's blocked on the side.
Yeah, we have a few more cameras this time, so it's easier to get a view of what's happening.
So I don't know what the speed's doing there. We were going maybe 38, 40, but the speed limit's 30. So I don't know what that was.
That seemed kind of fast for that road, but maybe that's just map data or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I noticed it just in this release that it's been doing a weird speed difference there. Anyway, so we have
Pedestrian.
Stop. So I had to intervene there because the car wasn't slowing down. Maybe it was detecting this lane as drivable and wanted to go there, but it didn't slow down at all.
Yeah,
it just was driving.
It was too close to chance it at that point.
Yeah, like it wasn't even slowing down. Maybe because it was a curve and not straight, so it couldn't see. It showed, I don't know, we'll look at it later. But what we were saying is we have a lot more cameras this time. I got a new camera on the inside of the car. Got a Sony. And I got a Blackmagic camera, but that thing was massive. I let Mark see it. I mean, it's like it's big. Yeah. Without a lens even, it's massive. And it only records in RAW format. And I didn't know what that meant until I got the files, and they are huge. Like 20-minute drive will fill up a terabyte hard drive. I mean, it's insane. I just can't do that in my workflow. That's like too much for me. So I got this Sony camera, and I'm hoping it does a good job, especially with detail and low light. The GoPros don't work very well with detail for the screen. Like when you zoom in, there's squares everywhere when I do my editing, and I don't like that personally.
And I'm kind of curious if it'll be able to pull out those whites and yellows that you usually can't see in videos.
It's so hard. Like I am always saying, like on the screen. So I'm really hoping that this is doing a better job. It has HDR. It should be balancing all the coloring correctly. At least we'll see when we edit. Whoa.
That was a little bit of a speed up.
The light, it really responded well to that light.
Yeah, I didn't want to waste any time.
It was like, whoa.
But it still seems like it's not as choppy. Like before, the accelerations and decelerations would be kind of like one speed to one speed, and this is like more gradual. Even
like
the hard brakes are gradual.
This is where it turns into the parking lane, but see how there's cars parked here? Now it doesn't turn into it.
It's still kind of...
Wow, it's challenging. I mean, there's pedestrians on the road. Oh, it's avoiding...
Yeah, it gave them...
Wow. This is pretty incredible, you guys. Oh, look, it's choosing the right...
Oh, can I get it?
Oh, it did it.
That's the first time
First time. First time.
This is hard to see.
It is really hard to see. I'm hoping we'll turn the upper video up for intersections like this.
There's a lot of cars parked on the street.
Yeah, it's a blind curve for us. Oh.
Okay, this is a crazy time of day.
It worked.
It avoided the cyclist too.
Only one intervention. Oh.
Okay, we stopped really far back.
This is exactly what it did the other day to me. Okay, I'm showing that back there. It stopped super early, and I still don't know why it stopped so early back there. but I've not had to intervene, which is just crazy. Like, we only one intervention so far, and last time you were with me, I maybe had, what, 3 by that point? Maybe
there were
4.
quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. Which was, I have to say, it was even better than when I first got the beta, let's just be real, but it's getting a lot less. I mean, only 1, and that was because it didn't break fast enough for me for the pedestrian. You know, like,
yeah,
it's coming up a little bit fast.
Even if it would have broke for the pedestrian, it would have been kind of late, so it would have scared the pedestrian for sure.
Yeah, which she was hesitating because we weren't, there was no speed slowing down. It may have been because the curve is what I'm thinking.
Reaction time where
yeah,
maybe it needed to see it in more frames or something.
Yeah, because even with standard autopilot, I noticed that the car does a better job with things that are like straight in front. Maybe because it's using the radar data at the same time. But that particular scenario, the pedestrian was like to the left. And maybe the car didn't have the best depth perception for that. I don't know.
It was still adjusting out of the curve maybe.
Yeah. That was a good scenario though.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to let it go any further.
I think it was a required intervention for sure. But I mean, you're seeing how much better it's driving, right? Like, it's so impressive even to me because
it kind of seems like they. Here's a roundabout.
Yeah, roundabout number 1.
Seems like they went from straight lines to like curved lines now, on the accelerations, on the turns. Everything seems.
So I tapped it to go. It's like hesitating, and there's a car behind us.
Yeah, that was a little.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't very smooth. I didn't have to intervene, but I did tap the accelerator to tell it to go. So there's a car behind us, so that's why I'm pulling up that view. So I think what was happening, oh yeah, it's detecting that pedestrian, so it keeps braking. Because that pedestrian looked like it was going to cross, but then she turned. You notice that with the dog? And I think the car was reacting to that direction.
Definitely the roundabouts are not smooth.
Let's see how it handles this.
That's quite close to that car.
Oh, I can't wait to see the upper camera for that one.
Yeah, that was a little close.
Still doing some like light weaving here, but it's not pulling around, you notice we're not jerking around the car.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's do the right now. Cool. So this is going to take us back into Midtown around a whole bunch more roundabouts. Kind of the same test loop I always do, and then we'll go down into the construction zones that was challenging last time.
Yep. It definitely seems like
it's just a lot better.
The lane keep is like very centered.
It's been struggling right here for some reason. Now, it was at night the first night, and it wanted to take us into that. It avoided it fully now during the day, so it definitely did have some vision issue with the night and not being able to see it clearly. It saw it a lot better during the day now. But see how much better?
Well, that turn was...
That was great.
It was very smooth. It was the, like, consistent speed. It was
great.
Like, good edging around it. It really didn't jerk in any way. It was...
Now, this is unprotected. It is clear to the left. But you guys can see, it's, like, so blind. It's so hard to see. It did say it was creeping forward visibility, but...
Yeah, this is not okay.
We're stopped in the middle of the road.
Yeah, you can't stop in the middle of the road.
There was no cars, so it wasn't like we were in danger, but it clearly had trouble seeing, and it brought us literally into the middle of the road to look for visibility. Like, no.
And we've seen that, like, that didn't really stop.
Yeah, it didn't really stop, but yeah, it's
like,
so inconsistent, you know?
Anytime there's a blind situation, it seems like it is going a little bit far forward and then stopping. Like,
now this is blind, so I'm clear on the left.
Both sides look good.
There's a car coming. Now, it is creeping. Now, it didn't jut out. Remember the difference, how it used to just jut out? That rolled.
That was actually good.
I didn't have to intervene. So in past builds, I would have intervened for it going out, but that's only because it literally would like gun it, and you'd go out to the intersection really hard, and then it would stop. This rolled, and I'm actually pretty okay with that. Oh,
and we just stopped
in the
kind of harshly. That was quite close.
Okay, first intervention. That didn't go very smooth. So I'm noticing it's turning on the left turn signal now every time I engage FSD now.
And we just accelerated towards the stop sign.
It's clear on the left.
That's another one where it's close on both sides. Close
yeah,
to the vehicle over
close.
here.
It didn't hit anything though, so
yeah.
It didn't hit anything, so it's good.
The pathing is looking good.
It's looking a lot better. I mean, honestly, it's looking way better. Okay. So here's J Street where it is blind, but creeping, and look, we're in the middle of the intersection again.
And there was, I think it was on Chuck's video, he put like a B-pillar cam.
Yeah,
and then he was doing,
I saw that.
That was really interesting.
That was rad.
But I think he had a good suggestion, which was, like, we know we have the stop line, like we have that even without FSDBETA, but what we need is almost like a creep line. Like, how far can you go forward to gain visibility without being in the lane?
That's exactly what it needs to show. It needs to show us like a line on the screen of like, okay, we're going to creep to this point. Well, then we'll just feel so much better knowing like we know where it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely needs to show us that.
And
like,
hopefully it's not in the middle.
Yeah, like you guys saw like the last two intersections, it's just rolled right out in the middle of the road and just stopped, and I've had to tap the accelerator. Checking visibility. It is clear on the left, but
See, now it's doing that
again, it's stopping. Like,
it's almost like it waits for the perfect scenario to some
yeah. Like, I wouldn't have accelerated and then stopped, but I knew it was not unsafe for us, so I wasn't going to intervene on that. I guess I'll just snapshot that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of those situations were really unsafe.
Yeah.
It just was a little bit unnatural.
Yeah. Like, I'm getting way more comfortable with this, like, even being in here on this particular build. It's not so erratic to me. Like, I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Well,
you've only been here for, I don't know, 20 minutes, but how do you...
The start was way smoother than before. We hit a few parts where it just kind of stopped, which I wouldn't say was like this is a little...
That was sketchy. I don't know, maybe it was reacting to that car doing something. I've never had that happen. But look at the line color. Do you see the line color flickering?
It's still
yellow?
flickering, yeah.
It's still flickering. So I bet we're still going to have that issue coming into Midtown, or coming the other way.
And it's weird that only some dots are yellow and some are white. Like,
it's all white.
It's almost like it...
Look at that.
It breaks up the screen in certain sections maybe, and then it tries to determine each one.
Yeah, now it's having trouble again.
And it's flashing yellow, so...
Did you see all the objects just disappear too? So... Ooh!
This...
It was like, oh, let's get away.
That's a little close.
Okay. Do you remember, this is exactly when that bus was up here? Remember that?
Yeah.
When you were with me? That it did that here, and it did the same thing.
I've seen that in some videos too, I think, where...
It worked. Bikes?
It might have been your video, I'm not sure. It was like...
Stop, please.
There were a lot of cars that were all turning right, but they were stopped. So then the car wanted to turn right as well, but it went around, tried to go around everyone because it thought they were just like parked vehicles.
Maybe it was mine. Why is it?
Yeah, see, this is...
It just wanted to stop in the middle of the road. So I just tapped the accelerator. Because it actually said tap to continue, so I tapped it. That was really strange. Maybe it detected all those barriers as maybe a street.
Maybe we thought we were on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, well, but it's all white now. Like, it's pure white. It's not flickering yellow anymore. Oh, it detected that car. Did you notice that car kind of like angled towards us and the car reacted? Did you feel that?
That was pretty fast.
That was quick. That was faster than a human would react. Maybe that's what it did at that last intersection where maybe that car, maybe we'll see it on that video from above.
I mean, we're just speculating on a lot of these things. But
yeah, we're just speculating because, you know, it's so hard to know when you're in here. Then when we go back and do the editing and pull up the video, we're like, wow, look at that. And then I'll replay it, and it's cool. I like having all these cameras.
Those were red lines.
Yeah, it got really close to that parked car, but I'm not sure what it was doing here.
Yes, there's a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, we're in downtown Sacramento now, and that was a homeless guy yelling some obscenities. Oh. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It's just, I think it's the unknown of not knowing, is it going to keep
like,
straight?
what's it going to do? Yeah, what's it going to do? It was fine. It reacted to all that just fine. It gave room to the lady in the trunk of the car. You could feel the car go a little bit. This car's outside of the line. I'm curious what it's going to do. We have a bus coming.
That car doesn't know what they're doing either.
It doesn't? That was completely not, they shouldn't have been doing that. But the way it handled, I think, was the safest because we have this big bus right here.
Yeah, that was smart.
It didn't overtake the car and go in front of this bus, which is fantastic. You guys should be able to see that from at least one of the camera views. Like, there's a massive bus next to us. Oh, look.
Looks like it has, the length is right on the visualization too.
It's great, yeah. So it's funny, I don't know if maybe like on the non-beta screen, if it would be those little cars that were all broken up in chunks, you know, and like look like it's stretching. But in the FSD view, the box lengths are the exact lengths of the objects. I've noticed that, which is really cool.
Yeah, that looks quite accurate. See, now there's more jumping.
Well, yes and no. I mean, not like before. Before, it would be just like, the line is pretty much straight now.
Yeah.
Like, it's way more accurate to me.
It almost looks like they made the dots possibly thinner, so it's a little more precise.
Something. Whatever it is, I'm happy with it. I mean, Sacramento is just challenging. They have all this construction everywhere. You know, temporary lane lines, and there's always stuff going on. There's a lot of crazy scenarios. This truck's parked out, went right around. I love, at the beginning, it was, what was it? The car turning in front of us, oncoming. It handled it perfectly.
It seems to be like understanding situations better, possibly.
Way better. I mean, you've been in my car now for 3 different releases, so you've been able to kind of see the progression of it. And you know, I've been using this since the very first build that was released to, you know, the beta group, and it's just a lot better to me. So here, you remember these turns? It was always going super far. I'm curious how it's going to handle this. Again, yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it put yellow, it drew yellow, and it put us in lane number.
That's, not the
okay,
lane.
So I think my speculation is, there's no cars, but my speculation is that because it was a right-hand turn programmed in here, maybe that's why it keeps pushing us. But now I have a different route. We really need waypoints.
Oh, look at this. The red line is matching the barrier here.
It is.
I don't think that was the case before, was it?
Yellow. It's doing it again.
Oh, yeah. And there's kind of some yellow flickering.
I wonder if it is... so I bet the map data is wrong, and the vision is trying to correct itself, saying, oh, nope, it's not. It's gonna... I know it's gonna trip out here. Because there's no lines. There's like literally no lines on this road. Oh, it's not tripping out.
Now it is.
See, because...
Yeah, this is that Z.
You know, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to fault Tesla at all. Look at this road. I mean, you don't even know where to go, and it's putting us in a right-hand turn lane. This is not a fault of Tesla. It didn't do anything too crazy like the last build. But honestly, you guys, that road, we don't even know where to drive on that road. I mean,
I think most people would have had to make their decision at the signal because then there were arrows.
There's arrows. There's like lanes. Let's see how it goes. Again, now it's all white. I'm just gonna snapshot that. It wasn't very rough. I mean, but in the last builds, that particular turn, it's been like accelerating and hard braking. It wasn't smooth, but it was a lot better. Like, it didn't make me feel ill.
Yeah, they've kind of like dialed down how extreme it is now. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more gradual.
Yeah. I mean, it's just driving a lot better. Like, the amount of disengagements is a lot less. I mean, I still feel like it is.
It seems like, the actual driving dynamics are much better, for sure. There's a couple things, like the visualization is getting messed up in some ways, and I think that's affecting the routing or the pathing.
Yeah.
But if the visualization wasn't getting messed up, I think it would be doing just fine.
Yeah.
Like when it projects it properly, it's a smooth ride.
Yeah. We encountered some really interesting scenarios. Like, I don't recall. I mean, I love the Overtake video with the Amazon truck when we were driving the other night. That was so awesome.
This is going to be interesting.
It didn't detect it again.
Yeah, that was too late.
Again, it didn't detect this again. So, I'm going to keep intervening there. I'm going to keep reporting it because you can clearly see the arrows to the left and the color of the lane line. The car should have reacted to that, and it's not. Like, we were just going full speed.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even slow down.
I saw Mark even grab the door handle, like, he's like, oh, Brandon.
Yeah, just bracing.
Bracing for impact. No, not going to happen.
Well, no, it's just, at the very least, like, it's kind of opposite. Like, some of these blind turns, it stops in the middle. You don't want it to do that. In this case, you want it to slow down a little bit. So even if it just slowed down, you'd feel a little more comfortable knowing it sees something that's unknown.
Right, exactly. Like, that was even for us, like, wait, where are we supposed to go? Like, we would have just slowed down as a driver. Mm-hmm. And the car wasn't very sure what it was going to do. Maybe it was going to try to go between those two little white pylons. Who knows? But it was definitely not normal. Like,
yeah, so these are kind of weird.
Sacramento's weird. Like, we have bike lanes, and they didn't continue the bike lanes here, as you see. Like, they're doing a lot of work here, and I know it's really challenging this system, but I mean, it's so much better. Remember, right there is where we had to overtake the last 2 times you were with me. It's always swerved into the wrong lane back there, remember? Now it's not.
I wonder if this has to do with daylight as well, potentially. Do you think that's helping?
Could be.
See, now this you can't
what did it do that for? Oh my gosh.
That was the hardest break so far.
Oh, that was rough, you guys. Like, it brakes so hard just now. Like, and I don't know what for.
Well, yeah, it was like a clear intersection.
Now, I tapped the accelerator because it just, like, turned.
I mean, if someone...
in front of it. It's because we have a right-hand turn coming up. I'm going to cancel this and navigate back to ESAC.
If someone had done that and someone was behind you, there's a chance you might have gotten...
Yeah, we would have gotten tagged. Notice the color is yellow disappears. Oh, it stayed gone. Look.
It's
instead
flickering.
of it flickered a little bit, but then it stayed gone.
Something about this road.
There's something about these roads. I don't know. I think maybe it is map data, and the vision is overriding the map data, but it's still, like, not sure, the confidence.
That's very weird because, like, there's no sign of yellow around.
Weird.
On the actual...
Everything's white on every road around here. It's all one ways.
I mean, I'm okay with Tesla not assuming that things are one way.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. So I'm gonna manually lane change left here because this is where it's always tried to push us right, and I just want to see what it does because here it's showing yellow and you see the pathing. Look, it's pushing to the right.
Oh, that's not good.
It's trying to push us towards that car. So, and I'm forcing this scenario to happen, you guys. Like, the car left us in the right-hand lane, but I forced it to left because I want to see how it's going to handle this because there is something wrong here.
Yeah,
yep.
It was turning.
It was turning into that car. So there is something wrong with the way it's visioning these roads. So either the map data is wrong and it's all set as two-way and the vision's overriding it. Maybe because we're on a crest, it couldn't see the color.
That's possible, yeah.
but it's handling this a lot better. Remember how it was pulling us to the right here? Continually. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's not doing it. It's all white now.
And just watching the visualization, it seemed like as we were coming up on that other intersection, the pathing actually jumped that way.
It did.
So there's something that gave it a clue to look left for some reason. And this is not good either.
Yep, it was going to the car again. They're like, oh no, look at them pull back.
Now they're just afraid of us.
They're like, oh no, well, let's not go to that Tesla. Oh.
Yeah, that's...
Man, it really wants to go right. That's not good. They must know something's up with all these cameras on the car.
Some pedestrians.
Pedestrians. It waited.
Yep, now they're on the sidewalk.
Now they're on the sidewalk. Now it turned blue. Good. No, that was perfect.
They did the legal thing.
Yeah,
that was not smooth.
That wasn't smooth. But it wasn't that bad either compared to my other turns.
That's true. It's strange because like some of these scenarios they almost look easier than other scenarios, but the car just took that really wide for some reason. Like,
look at all the objects. They just appeared. I don't know. Like I just glanced over, then everything just appeared. Like I couldn't see.
Well, we're approaching sunset, so maybe that angle of light is throwing it off.
Maybe. This is all good though.
Oh, and we were looking at the holiday visualization. This does look completely different.
It does. It's above, right? Like
yeah.
The line's above all this stuff. So, I think it was actually our turn.
Now we need to go.
Now we need to go.
Little close.
That was close. No, actually we had about that much space. Okay. It just looked really close. That turn it's always struggle on. I think I've intervened the majority of every time I've taken that turn, so it didn't intervene on that.
Yeah, you're more used to how close it gets.
Yeah, because I know how the car acts. That's why I try to take this exact same loop every time. I really wish we had waypoints because that would help to know if it was the right-hand turn to that museum that was causing that back there. That's why we really like waypoints to just kind of like go.
So we continue the route versus having to change it?
Yeah, just continue. Here's where it's always pulled left. It did it again.
Without a turn signal?
No turn signal, pulled left again. There was no car, but it pulled left again for whatever reason. And look, there it's trying to push right.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it was jumping.
And then it turned red.
It's still flickering occasionally.
Yeah. I don't know what it is here. I mean, you can see the dotted line go straight across the intersection.
Well, the yellow is moving. Look, the yellow is going to the right, to the left.
Oh, that's what it is. It's having trouble determining white and yellow. And when it gets unsure, it flips yellow and then pushes to the right. That's what it's doing.
But it's like almost...
Oh, it's better now. Well, let's see what it does. My hands are on that wheel. No, it worked.
Yeah, that was smooth.
That was better. It's trying to push us to the right lane here. I'm intervening because there's no reason for that. This merges right here. Maybe we just have challenging roads here in Sac. I mean, that must be what it is because like it just goes right into the super wide road here and the car is going to want to center, so it's going to...
Yeah.
That's okay though. This is good.
It is a little more to the left, which is good because if someone wanted to turn right, they still have room.
Yeah, I'm going to pull this up. There's no cars behind us.
It's kind of almost seems like just the luck of the draw to some degree. I mean, it is the chances are much better now. It seems like it's making better decisions more often, but we still see this jump occasionally.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not like my enthusiasm and my optimism for it is saying it's ready for rollout. It's not ready for rollout, but it's getting a lot better from what the first experience was, and then the times you've been with me, and with everyone watching. Like it's so much better. Like
this has always been difficult too.
It's always had a challenge here, and I want to see how it handles this.
It's a pretty sharp angle too.
Yeah, you can't even see. I just see it's not showing red here. I'm just afraid it's going to turn into this.
Yeah, that was close.
Oh my gosh. It might have been okay. It just looks so close.
Well, I don't know if you want to curb your wheels.
Yeah, I don't want to curb my wheel. I just saw what John did at Tesla, Silicon Valley.
I mean, that's why like people are saying it's not really ready to roll out yet, because you don't know, like you have to take over in some cases, and sometimes you don't have a lot of time to.
People need to understand this is normal. Like, this is part of the beta process, and it takes months before stuff is rolled out.
Seems
a little fast on that curve, yeah. But this is all part of the beta process. So normally this is all confidential NDA. No one sees this, and this is just different. Everyone's experiencing the progression in like real time as we're experiencing it. So this is the first time I did the full loop since I got this beta 8. So Mark experiencing it for the first time, I am, and everyone else is. So, you're kind of seeing the progression of how it's acting. And you remember this? No left turns.
Yeah.
They fixed it.
No ghost signal.
No ghost signaling. They fixed it. This is the first time in every release I've ever had that my car is driven straight into East Sacramento without turning.
Well, these lines are like perfect.
Yeah.
They're yellow and then...
like it should be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, there's significant level of improvements. I'm sure that the intervention count for my car is dropping significantly. Like, that should tell Tesla they're in the right direction.
Yeah, this looks... I don't remember this being so perfectly yellow before.
No. I'm noticing I have to hold the wheel a lot more frequently. I don't know if it's because it's having trouble or what, but I have to touch the wheel a lot more frequently in this version. Or I'm just getting more comfortable with it. One or the other. Like,
I mean, when it's like, there are times you have to intervene, but when you don't intervene, that drive time is much smoother.
You feel how much better it is?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like jerking us around the road. I don't feel like I'm drunk. I don't feel car sick. I'm not being dramatic. Like, it made us so car sick because it was literally just weaving around the roads. And now it's just natural. Like, it's smoother. I still don't like that it centers like in this wide lane right here. Let's see if it turns.
Oh, the path.
It got over. It got over.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's that hesitation where it stops again?
Yeah, it hesitated and then stopped. So it's still struggling for whatever reason on that particular intersection. They have the intervention counted, so yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if there were no cars there, it probably would have done it fine.
It would have been fine, yeah.
But there was an oncoming car. We can't stop on the lane with an oncoming car.
Sure. Cool. So what are your overall thoughts on this particular release?
It definitely seemed like the interventions were needed when they were done. Mm-hmm. The time where you were not intervening, for the most part, it seemed like you almost wouldn't have been able to know it was a computer. It was a little closer to a human.
Yeah.
Because it did more gradual adjustments. So we don't get like computerized, jerking around.
Sure.
So they've smoothed the wheel, they've smoothed the acceleration, they've smoothed the stopping. Mm-hmm. And that's really noticeable.
Yeah. It's awesome. I'm loving it. This is my favorite release so far, you guys. So anyway, thanks for joining us.